Welcome to this video in the series Writing Academic Papers in English Language Journals. In this particular video, I discuss the results section of your paper. And the video presentation is written and presented by myself, Ajahn Roy, from the Naresuan University Graduate School. The results section is in the stream of ideas through your paper, and the function of the results section is to objectively present your key results without interpretation in an orderly and logical sequence using both text and illustrative materials, that is, tables and figures and photographs and other. You do analyse your results and explain to your reader what the results show, but the importance of the results, the way that you can use the results, the applicability of the results to society or to the body of knowledge are all discussed in the discussion section. The results section always begins with text, reporting the key results and referring to your figures and tables as you proceed. Summaries of the statistical analyses may appear either in the text, usually parenthetically, or in the relevant tables or figures in the legend or as footnotes to the table or figure. The results section should be organised around tables and figures, or should be sequenced to present your key findings in a logical order. The text of the results section should be crafted to follow this sequence and highlight the evidence needed to answer the questions or hypotheses that you investigated. Authors usually write the text of the results section based upon the sequence of tables and figures. However, the label or caption of your figure or table is just that, a label. It is not the place to discuss your figure. The label or caption is placed immediately above the figure or table, and the caption must not include information about methods and how the data are expressed or any abbreviations. If needed, those are included as footnotes to the table, with each footnote keyed to a footnote reference in the table by sequential lettered superscripts or by a narrative or legend following the figure or table. And remember that Microsoft Word allows you to construct a table of figures or a table of tables based on your captions. This may not be relevant for a research paper, but certainly will be relevant for your thesis or dissertation. As always, check the format required by the journal you will submit the paper to. It is important to plan which results are important in answering the question and which can be left out. You should only include results which are relevant to the questions posed in the introduction. Remember, scope, stick to the topic. You must not self-censor your results. You must objectively report your results, irrespective of whether or not the results support the hypotheses. Failure to prove your hypotheses or to have results that are negative and may indicate that you failed to achieve a positive outcome are valid research results, so must be reported together with the favourable and positive results. Unless the research was about the demographics of the sample population, information on the demographics such as age, gender, education should not be treated as results and should have been described in the methods and materials section. In referring to your results, avoid phrases like, Table 1 shows the rate at which students fall asleep in class as a function of the time of day that class is taught. Rather, write, students fall asleep in class twice as frequently during evening than day classes. Reference Table 1. This is a lesson in brevity. This means that you should use as few words as possible to present as much information as possible. This is the Western style of writing. A caption must not include information about methods, about how the data are expressed, or in any abbreviations. If needed, those are included as footnotes to the table, with each footnote keyed to a footnote reference in the table by sequential lettered superscripts. Some problems to avoid. Do not reiterate each value from a figure or table, only the key result or trends that each conveys. Do not present the same data in both a table and a figure. This is considered redundant and a waste of space and energy. Decide which format best shows the result and go with it. Do not report raw data values when they can be summarized as means, percentages, etc. And the use and overuse of the word significant. Your results will read much more clearly if you avoid overuse of the word significant in any of its forms. Remember that in scientific studies, the use of this word, significant or significance, that a statistical test was employed to make a decision about the data. If, for example, the test indicated a larger difference in mean heights than you would expect to get by chance alone, limit the use of the word significant to this purpose only. If your parenthetical statistical information includes a p-value that indicates significance, usually when p less than 0.05, it is unnecessary and redundant to use the word significant in the body of the sentence, because we all interpret the p-value the same way. And by the way, p in p-value is always lowercase. Likewise, when you report that one group mean is somehow different from another, it's larger or smaller or increased or decreased, etc., it will be understood by the reader that you have tested this and found the difference to be statistically significant, especially if you also report a p-value less than 0.05. I want to discuss units of measure, because there are two systems of units of measure, imperial and metric. The US uses imperial. Most of the rest of the world uses metric. Imperial measures of volume are the fluid ounce, the pint, quart and gallon, and you see the abbreviations that would be used there. Whereas the metric measures of volume are milliliter, litre and kiloliter. Two things need explanation here. First, spelling of litre, L-I-T-R-E, which is British, and is L-I-T-E-R in American spelling. Second, some style guides recommend a large uppercase L for litre, and others recommend a lowercase l. For units of distance, imperial units of distance include inches, which are represented by the double quote or IN, feet, single quote, or FT, yards and miles, with millimetres, centimetres, metres and kilometres being metric measures. For units of weight, imperial measures of weight are ounces, pounds, hundredweights and tonnes, whereas the metric measures of weight are grams, kilograms, tonnes, also known as metric tonnes, and kilotons. The Americans do not use metric measures. Also, note again the spelling differences, G-R-A-M or G-R-A-M-M-E, and so on. In American English, a tonne is a unit of measurement equaling 2,000 pounds. In non-US measurements, a tonne equals 2,240 pounds. A tonne is also known as a metric tonne, is a unit of mass equaling 1,000 kilograms. This may or may not be important to you. However, I think you need to understand that there is a difference, and perhaps you need to specify metric tons where appropriate. When you show values for temperatures, the degree C or degree F symbols, which is Celsius or Fahrenheit, there should not be a space between the value and the degree symbol, e.g. 35 degrees C, not 35 space degrees C. Note, to insert the degrees symbol in Word, use Alt plus 0176 on the number pad. Similarly with the percentage sign, for example 75%, not 75 space percent. Also, be careful when you use words to reference this. 75% is 75%, but referring to a value, that is a percent, you refer to them as a percentage. When you have a list of values, it is correct to say, for example, 30 degrees C, 40 degrees C, 50 degrees C, and 60 degrees C, not 30, 40, 50, and 60 degrees C. Similarly with percentages, 25%, 30%, or 50%, not 25, 30, and 50%. So a final word on showing your results. Again, remember, you know, you understand what the results were. You know what compared against what, and which comparisons were relevant, especially when you are comparing a number of variables against each other. So you must state your results in the simplest, most understandable way possible to ensure that your reader also is able to know and understand what the results were. Strive for clarity. The results should be short and sweet. So thank you for viewing this video. You can download the PowerPoint slides for further study. And now you can go to view the video on the next section of the main body of your paper, which is the discussion section. Thank you.